welcome back to another episode of the Gamblers Grind Podcast. It's your boy Make a Wish here, and just to give you a heads up, there's going to be a quick change to the name of the stuff that's going on. So just giving you guys a heads up for that. Let's talk to you about this NBA recap. So this is actually not really interesting per se, but it's really interesting to attack, because we talked about this in the last episodes, because you guys listen to my predictions and stuff going on, my sometimes I tend to be right. And like I said, going into this Boston-Cleveland match, these Cavaliers at the Celtics, and nothing surprised me here. I just looked right there. Yeah, 74 points combined in the first quarter. That's respectable. But that's also not sustainable for these two teams, because both the teams play relatively slow. I mean, don't get me wrong. If there's paces were involved with this, for both these teams, it'd be a different story. They'd be forced to uphold the pace to some degree. But the biggest issue we have with the Cavaliers coming to this matchup, which I said before, Celtics at worst should be 4-1. At worst, there's potential for a sweep. Just FYI, you heard it here first. If not, you should have heard it here first. Celtics have this. The Celtics are the big brother of the Cavaliers. Like I said, Cavaliers here, they're everything they do, Celtics do better, and they have better shooters, and the offensive firepower is a lot more devastating. Let's look at the actual numbers. According to the stats, the adjusted offensive rating for the Boston is first place, 122 out of 100 possessions. Is it? I forget at the moment. But Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 18th. I'm sorry, at 114.6. I mean, the number isn't that far separated, but if you look at the score should be probably pretty consistent, because defensively, the Cavaliers are 7th place in the rating, but Boston's 2nd. So, this team is, like I said, it's kind of like the big brother, little brother situation here, just like the last match with the Orlando Magic and the Cavaliers. Orlando Magic being little brother, Cavaliers being the bigger brother. And this is the next step up, big brother and daddy, if you want to call it that, okay? There's a reason why Celtics were number 1 in the Eastern Conference without much of a challenge, barring Embiid getting hurt. And the Bucks just, what's that word? Imploding upon themselves? Yeah, that's kind of what happened there. Losing 2 coaches, or changing coaches, changing offensive staff, all that good stuff, just that little stuff. Yeah, so nothing really big to see. The biggest thing I want you to make note, though, is that Donovan Mitchell had to put out most of all the output for the team, for scoring ability. And just to give you, not even just saying things, if you guys can see yourself, use the actual definitive numbers. So basically, it was 33 points by Donovan. Next up was 17 by Mobley. And that was the next highest. And then from there is 17, 14, 11, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3. Yeah. And on that, just give you the numbers. 41.1% for field goals for the match. 26.2 for 3-pointers. 11 of 42. 10 for 13 free throws, if that matters to you guys. You know what I'm saying? Just use the number just for perspective. Now, going the flip side, like I said, the offensive capabilities are a lot different. Here, I don't want to say the best scorer, but the biggest name on the team, Jason Tatum, he had an off night. He had a relatively bad night. He shot 7 for 19, only got 18 points. All right, but when he had an off night, we still had the backup, because Jaylen Brown did 32 points. I would say Donovan. Daryl White, I forget his name. Oh my goodness, I feel so embarrassed right now. This is my boy. I've been him like 6 times this year. He would pop those threes in the corner. Derek Derek White. There we go. I know there's a D or something, but he did 25. 32, 25. All right. Those two numbers alone almost cover 17, 30, 50, 70 points through the starters. Them two right there, 57 points. Okay, so you can add one more in there. We add one more in there. Go. Jay Holiday, all right. 14. 18, 17. Another point off the bench, too. Pritchard, 16 points, like I said. They were there. Even with Tatum not playing a good game, the other team members are able to offensively take care of the team. And that's the biggest differentiator here. And then we have some people who had little points, but they were there for defensive purposes. And that's why they have the number 2 defense in the league. The number 2 defense. For that very reason. And they don't have those big guys. And let me not say that. Maybe not say that. It just, everything comes down to the biggest differentiator is the offensive capabilities. It's going to separate the Celtics from the Cavaliers in the series. Every game, like I said, if Cavaliers even score one time or get one W, I'd be surprised. I won't be too surprised if I call for a 1. But I'd be surprised, though, if it don't get swept. I'd be amazed if they were swept. So enough being said about that one. And then number 2, that first game fritters, by the way. Both of these games are first game. So we're a little iffy on what was actually going to happen. OKC destroyed the Dallas Mavericks. All right. It wasn't that bad, but it was not a great performance for the Mavericks. The Mavericks got looked pretty bad because of that. Luka, what do you put Luka at? Luka only had 19 points. Oh boy. Luka had 19. Kyrie had 20. Luka shot 6 for 19. 1 for 8 on the 3-point range. Oh boy. So yeah. The defense was kind of. That was the thing that I thought would be the biggest differentiator between the two teams, is the defensive capabilities. All right. And unlike the first game with the Pelicans, I feel like that game was kind of like a fluke maybe per se, because like after that first game, OKC just put the foot in the gas pedal and just gone. They have not been looking back. They won 22 here? Won by 22 points? Just 22. I mean, they shut them down. Like the first quarter was tied, 9-point lead. Second quarter OKC, and then they took off again, 12 points at the end of the fourth quarter. So I'm saying it's like every quarter OKC won. That defense, though, you know what I'm saying? I guess the big difference. It's a big difference here. So like I said, this one here, I don't foresee being swept. But OKC might make me change my mind. Let's see what happens next game. You know what I'm saying? Because also we are also at home for OKC, and so since we both have the number 1 seeds doing the number 1 seed things for each conference, it's really hard to say what's really going to happen here. But there's a stark difference. Like I said, for OKC was just the better version of Mavericks too. Smaller team, better defense, big shooters. So we'll see what happens here. There's not too much to say with this one. This one just a run through. Like, I wasn't expecting more in the Celtics game, but I expected to get more information to see how it's going to play out. This one here, we could just chalk one up to see Luka had a bad game. He just came off a 6-game series, and he wasn't doing the best in all those games. So he had 2 off games in that series. So let's chalk this up to an off game for right now and see what happens going forward. Because Luka is the majority of the star, and everything goes to Luka, just like everything goes to Nikola Jokic. You know what I'm saying? Those things, everything is going to play out after the next game. Let's see what kind of adjustments the Mavs make. That's going to be the biggest thing that's going to happen. Because otherwise, OKC might just run through them every game. I might just hammer the spread every time, or put a plus some more points on it. I might do that. And now I'm feeling kind of froggy because both these series I think are gonna be heavily one sided. This one I do foresee easier to be 4-1 series. However, the Boston Celtics one, that one I see is going to be Boston is going to have to fight stupidly to actually have a 4-1 series. That's what they're going to happen. They have to throw a game. That's basically what I see happening. Something has to happen. Someone has a roll ankle, or something has to fall, or another heating pad might come out and somebody slip on it. Something like that happens, okay? That's the biggest thing that's going to happen. That's going to make it a 4-1 series. Otherwise, I feel that being a sweep. We could have 2 sweeps here. We'll see what happens. But that being said, all the recap right there, let's push this one down, move on to the next. Guys, happy gambling grinders. Make-A-Wish out.